Hello, everybody. This is Mr. E with Mr. E's Mobile Shoe Shine Service coming at you again. I'm here with a good friend of mine. She had a chance to read the book, and we're gonna learn a little bit about her, what she do. So sit back, relax, enjoy this video, this interview, and we'll see how it goes from here. All right, let's get started. Hey, how you doing? State your name and what you do.
Angela Forge, and
Okay.
I'm a family law paralegal.
Ooh, interesting.
Very interesting.
Ah, that's funny because a lot of people when they hear about something about the lawyer side, they be like, "Oh, what's she gonna talk about? And what's she gonna do?" So, but it's good though. I mean, is there anything else that you'd like to do?
So I also run a nonprofit on the side for dog rescue.
Oh,
So I
gotcha.
support abandoned and bully breeds in the
Okay,
Detroit metro area with
okay,
my
okay,
nonprofit. And
okay.
that's actually my passion.
Oh,
Yes.
it's funny because when I talk to a lot of people, they really don't. They really want to find their passion, but they don't know what it is. And one of the things that I always say to people, like, passion is something that you would do for free.
Yep.
That you always like, I got to do this. You find your happiness in it. You just always, it's always on your mind. You're always doing it. So I tell people all the time. So when you're looking for your passion or purpose, it's probably gonna be something that you like doing, that you always constantly thinking about it, and it's always on your mind, and you just bring you joy when you're doing it. Okay. But
I think
thank
your
you.
passion finds you, right? So like your passion kind of finds you because it's stuff that you're doing already, but you don't like, I've had dogs my whole life and I've
Okay.
always loved dogs.
Okay. Okay.
But, and the more I start spending time with dogs, the more I start just, was just volunteering at a rescue here or doing, and then the more I was doing it, the more I,
Hmm.
that is my
Right.
passion. And so it's sort of, that kind of found me, right? Because I loved dogs and
Right.
it's just something that I love to do. And so then, just made me realize this is it.
But it's amazing though, Angela, that you say that is because even people today are working jobs that they really don't like.
Mm-hmm.
They doing it because it pays good money or it's got good benefit, but you never get your full potential out of why you was put here.
Right.
But when you find that lane, it just changed the game because your happiness is so greater when you find that lane that you're supposed to be in. Because now you can really, now you're on purpose.
Right.
It's not just I'm just doing this, but I got a mission that I'm on. So, and hats go off to you because you got a lot of dogs and that gets through in the system, and they don't have nobody to kind of help them and be their spokesperson. So, thank you for doing what you're doing because I
Thank
think
you.
you're changing dogs' life and you're changing people's lives because who adopts them, they getting a dog that's healthy. You get them when they just kind of like,
In bad shape.
yeah, and it's almost like you want. It's like most people are like, I'm not getting that dog because the dog is not look malnutritious or
Yeah.
whatever. So, but thank you for just doing what you do
Thank you.
because people like you that's helping dogs that get abused by owners that really don't like them and they shouldn't get a dog anyway. So
Right.
listen, if you don't like a dog, don't get a dog. It's simple.
Yeah.
Don't get it because you figure I want a dog. Dog is just like a person. They need love, they need nurturing, they need all that. So if you want a dog and you feel like, well, I'm not gonna put that time in to really nurture them, don't get a dog. All right. All
All
right.
right.
All right. So listen. So what we really hear about, it's about the book,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I
Yeah. Yeah.
think what I've been doing is I've been doing something unique.
Mm-hmm.
I always said I always wanted to write a book, and thank God I was able to write one. And I like to see people read it and get their feedback on it because this is my first time doing it. So to get the feedback from somebody that wrote it really kind of helps me to see, was this something that God really put in me to write? Because the testimonies I get from the people that have read it really helps me out a lot. Then, so reading the book, The Gift Behind the Shine, even when you seen the title, what caught your eye about it, or what caught your thought about, okay, what is this about? Like the gift behind the shine.
Well, because I know the gift of the writer,
Okay.
I kind of already had a little bit of what it was going to be about. But quite honestly, it was so touching. I got so much more out of it than what I thought, oh, he's just going to explain like why he does this. But there was so much more to it than that. It was so much deeper than that.
Okay.
And it was so much more relatable.
Okay.
And I was really surprised. Like, I got to know you in a completely different way. And I actually have a lot more connections with you
Right.
than I would have known had I not read that book.
It's something because I think even when I was writing it, it kind of allowed me to go back into my childhood. And people, that's why y'all got to get the book. I mean, you might see Mr. E where he is right now, but everybody
Mm-hmm.
has a backstory. And I think when you get the backstory of the person, now you get the whole full picture of who that person is and why he or she is doing what they're doing to this day. So when I was writing it, it allowed me to go back to my childhood a little bit and really bring up the stuff that I experienced.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have no idea that my purpose and path where I'm at now plays so much in what I went through coming up until I started writing. I'm like, wow, it's the coincidence of doing shoes, how it relates to everyday life is amazing because now people can look at doing shoes totally different
Right.
because they now have to look at like shining shoe. What that got to do with your
Right.
everyday life? You know what I
Right.
mean? So was that kind of like what you got out of it too? I
Right.
mean,
Well, there was so much that I got out of it because, like I said, it was very relatable. I mean, I have two children whose father has not been in their lives,
mm,
and so when reading your story and how that made you feel,
gotcha.
and then
Yeah.
seeing other families that had their father or
Hmm.
different things, and having a son now who's 21 years old,
Mm,
who is definitely, no matter how hard I've worked as a mother to be there for
right.
him, there's a void,
It is.
right? And so you took that void and sort of filled it in a way, and you probably didn't even know you were doing
Right.
it at the time, right? So you're
Hmm.
going back and saying, okay, this is what my childhood was, and look at how I am.
Yeah.
So it's really not, whether it's shining shoes or whether it can be relatable to a lot of other people in terms of what they're doing, right? So you're taking something and you're making it whole
Right.
again, and you're giving it new life. And when you go and you start talking about the things that you were talking about with your dad not being there, or
Yeah.
when that's a big void, and I'm seeing that in my own
Oh.
son. And I gave the book to him for him to read
Right.
because I wanted him to see, look at this is a man who had some similar issues,
Hmm.
whose dad wasn't
Hmm.
there, and
Hmm.
look how you wouldn't know, like, you're so happy as a person. You're like one of the most positive people I've ever met in my life.
Well, thank
Truly,
you.
you
Well,
are.
thank you.
You are.
Right.
And so, but you can see when you read the book, it's not always wine and
Uh,
roses, right?
it's amazing because I think when you hear from other people kind of demonstrating or talking about the person that I am, because I really don't see that. I
Mm-hmm.
just kind of see what I do every single day. And I kind of think back, like my life coming up and the experience that I went through. And it's funny because I could have went either way.
Right.
And I think a lot of people that's out there today is in that same situation because they might not have had that father in their life to really kind of help, teach them and nurture them and get them to where they need to be at. And that's why it's so important that a family needs mother and father. And yes, you might be a one parent household that raise your kids, but the way God created it, everybody has they roles as a father and as a mother. But when you got to play both roles, something is going to get lacked.
Right.
And I think, like with me, it got lacked because the father really locates the gift in their kids,
Yeah.
and it helped nurture them. So not having that father really, I think, I don't know if it kind of probably gave me a setback to a certain extent. But I don't dwell on it because I look at where I'm at now, and it was called all in God's hands on where I got to where I'm at right now. So I'm happy where I'm at,
Right.
and now I'm able to share like my experience coming up in my book. That's why y'all need to get it. So you can find a little bit more about me and then find yourself in there because there's something in that book that everybody's going to get
Right.
out of it.
I mean, who would have thought, right? I'm a family law paralegal. What I do and what you do are two very different things,
Exactly.
right? But
Exactly.
yet I can read the book and say, oh my gosh, I can completely, here I have a son that doesn't have a father.
Yeah.
And on top of that, even though I grew up and I had both my parents in the household, my mom wasn't really present. She was there,
Right.
but not really involved. And so a lot of the things that you were saying, I'm like, oh my gosh, I've felt this exact thing before. I've felt, And we come from two very different places.
Right.
Like there's so many things that people could say, oh, we're just very different people.
Right. No,
we're not.
Because I tell people, if you're going through something, somebody else has already been through it.
Mm-hmm.
So don't feel like you're the only one out there that's have experienced what you're going through, because trust and believe is the reason that it's because I was just fortunate enough and blessed to be able to put it in a book. But everybody has a story.
Yep.
Everybody has a story.
And a book, the other thing I really liked about the book is that it's really easy to read.
Yeah.
Right? It's not
I was going to ask you about that. Yeah,
it's not some novel, because people are not
200, 300 pages.
I'm
it's tired.
Not a novel. And also, like, if I'm going to say to my 21-year-old son, here, you read it too, and he can see, oh, well, it's not, I'm not going to spend like 3 weeks reading it. And you get so much out of it.
Right.
If you really I think I read it in like 2 days.
Yeah.
Like I was reading it and I'm like, okay, I don't really want to put it down. And then, you get so much out of it.
Yeah.
From spending 2 days of reading it.
Right.
So
and I think too, I tell people that was one of the things that I wanted to do, was to have it not too big, because people attention span, especially when it comes down to reading. And I'm one of them. I'm not a reader.
Right.
So you give me something like 200 pages, I'm not going to go through it. And then if I put it down, then I got to go back over and read it again to catch up where I left off at. And I think that's why a lot of people don't read big books, because they want something that they can read maybe like 60, 70 pages. You can kind of go right through there. And now, but one thing about the book, I think too, is that it's one of those books that even you can pick it right back up and read it again and still get the same tips and stuff, that just to kind of renew everything that you have read and apply it. You can go back again and read it again and still get something different out of it. So that's my thing that I was really looking for, to let it be something that you can go back to if you just need to refresh on what you read, or just to find out, okay, was it something that I didn't get? But you can go back and you find something else in it. Right. So, but that's good. I was glad to see that you got some of the things that I was hoping that everybody get by they reading it, and to show them that it don't make a difference what your background is, your occupation, where you grew up, because you have a story, and that story I wrote, it was just my story, but you can put yourself in that story.
For sure,
and be like, wow,
mm-hmm.
he talking about me, but it's not me.
Yeah.
So that's the good thing about the book, the gift behind the shine, is that you can put yourself in there and find yourself like, wow, this applies to me. Okay, maybe I need to tweak this a little bit and get a different result. And that's the whole thing I was reading for. So
it's very motivational too.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay. So it's very motivational. Like you hit the nail on the head when you were saying, like, listen, you could have gone you could have gone a different way in
Absolutely.
life. Okay. We see that happen all the time.
Yep.
So you took a situation that wasn't necessarily ideal. You made choices that were good choices to get you where you are. And you could have made other choices, but
Absolutely.
And then your faith plays into it so deeply.
Oh yeah.
And you don't necessarily know you're being guided, but you're being guided. Right. So there's a lot of there's a lot to take from the book, where it's motivational. Don't let really get into the spiritual aspect of it as well, and really it's deep. It's a deeper book than you think. When you first start reading it, like I said at the beginning,
right?
It's deep.
But I think too, though, and just this is that I got to where I got to is because I had to have God in the midst of it, because I wouldn't have been able to navigate none that I went through if God wasn't in there to help me navigate it, because I was limited to what I can do. And so to see that all the times I was going through everything coming up, how God still had his hands in my life, that he wasn't allowing me to get involved in different stuff that I easily could have got into.
Yep.
Easily. But he had a purpose for me. So he allowed me to not go certain ways because it looked nice, and he made me to a point that it didn't even interest me, of certain things that I know I'm like, that's not me. So I'm glad that he did do that, because now I'm able to share some of the experience I have to people that's out there today that maybe they going through the same thing. But I'm telling you, the book it's only 73 pages, but you got to go on Amazon and get it. It's The Gift Behind the Shine.
And it is a gift. The book is a gift. And get it for a gift.
Look,
Christmas is coming up.
Listen,
holidays are coming up.
Absolutely.
It's a great stocking stuffer.
Listen, why don't you just get it for your kids or somebody else that's in your family that might want the book? You buy it and maybe for a Christmas gift. It's on Amazon for only $15. Make it a nice Christmas gift for somebody in your family. But I'm telling you, you won't be disappointed. And I'm very sure, and I guarantee you that you're going to either pass it on to somebody else or it's going to help you, is because you're still trying to figure out what your purpose and path is, because everybody has one. You just got to figure out what's your purpose and path. But listen, Angie, listen, I really appreciate you taking your time out
Oh,
with
I
me on
love it. It
today,
happens.
and sharing what you got out of the book, because I think people needs to know that, and know that, this book can help even on a spiritual level, just a natural level. It helps. It's both of them intertwined. So it's easy for you to relate to it.
Absolutely.
And I think you will find yourself in it if you just got to get it. You
Yep.
just got to push the button on Amazon, hit the button,
Do it.
and don't waste no time. You get it in 2
Especially
days.
especially if you have kids or younger people in your family, give that to them. That's a great idea for them. They listen, we know our kids, they're on their
Exactly.
phones all the time.
Exactly.
73 pages, you can put your phone down for 73
Exactly.
pages.
And y'all can just read it together. Maybe y'all can say, okay, y'all can read it in just chapter for chapter and just say, hey, what did you get out the chapter? How do that apply? What you get out of it? How can you apply that to what you're dealing with? That'd be a good lesson for you and the family. But listen, thanks again, though, Angela. Thank you for
Yes,
your
it's my
time.
pleasure.
And again, this is Mr. E Mobile Shoe Shine Service. Listen, I'm still doing interviews, so stay tuned. I'm getting my YouTube channel station set up, so you'll be able to go right on there and look at all the interviews that I've had so far. But I'm looking to do your interview. So listen, reach out, go ahead and order the book from Amazon. Send me a message on Facebook saying, hey, I would love to do an interview. I read your book, and let me come out to you, and we can sit right side of this bus right here. See, right here in these seats, and let's talk. 20 minutes or so. Not gonna take a lot of your time, but I really want to connect with you and find a little bit more about you, and you can find a little bit more about me. But then again, you know what? Stay focused. Everyone has a purpose and path. God bless.